Hi everybody and welcome to this market update for the Wellington property market, Wellington region for the month of October 2016. Firstly, hopefully everyone is well out there after the big earthquake and the storms that we've had in the last few days. It's been a pretty tricky time. Anyway, so on with it. Firstly, the new listings in October. So the new listings are down significantly for October, down 14% compared to a year ago. This continues the trend we've seen throughout this year. And I suppose this is one of the big things that I'm noticing at the moment is that there is no major spring rush. So looking now at the median sales price for Wellington region in October, maintained that we saw in September, and prior to that we had seen flat prices for a few months. So prices were going up, then they leveled off for a few months, and then September they went up, and in October they held their ground. So compared to 12 months ago, 12% up, a little slower on a 12-month moving, 12-month increase than for the rest of the year, where we were seeing typically 14 or 15% growth. So price growth may be flattening off just a little bit. How long does it take to sell property in Wellington? 27 days compared to 28 days in October last year. For the previous few months, or the last few months this year, we've seen 24, 26 days, so 27 is a little longer and not that much faster than a year ago. So until recently we'd seen properties selling a lot faster this year than a year ago, but of course in October last year was when the market was starting to improve. So 27 days is still very healthy for a seller, still quite a short duration to sell, just not that big an improvement on last year. In terms of number of sales, the sales volume, now this is interesting. We are down, sales volume down on a year ago. Typically this year we've seen listing volumes down and sales volumes up. So that means the stock is getting run out. This month, or last month I should say, in October, an interesting bit of a change there. So the sales volume has dropped a bit. So again, a bit of an interesting one. Not the greatest news for sellers in that respect. Still definitely a seller's market, but sales volume has gone down a bit. Looking now at the inventory, and I think this is one of the most telling statistics that we look at each month. An exceptionally low 5 weeks, exceptionally eye-watering low 5 weeks compared to a normal of 19. So that clearly expresses that there is very little supply out there on the market compared to the amount that is being demanded. And you can see that again, very consistent picture in the number of listings on the two main websites, Trademe and realestate.co.nz, still considerably lower than we were a year ago. Now what we are seeing here though is that the listing volumes on these websites is increasing lately, as would be the expectation for spring market. So the listing volumes is going up, but just not as fast as we would expect, and still at really quite low levels. So look, in summary, listing volumes down on last year in terms of new listings for the month. The spring rush is very weak and very late. Maybe the price growth might be slowing a little bit. Time will tell. Let's see if that's a trend or if this is just a one-off. We are still selling quite quickly. Market remains very undersupplied. 40% LVR rule I'm seeing is still biting a bit with investment properties, although I believe the investment market is improving. It's still definitely a seller's market, a good time to be a seller on the whole, just not as aggressively a seller's market as it was for a lot of the rest of the year. So good luck out there, guys. Thanks a lot. See you again next month.